This teen killed his younger brother by setting him on fire.
Of course you're gonna look sad, buddy. You killed your little brother in fire. You ain't even kill him with a gunshot. You killed him using fire. Yeah, he's cooked. Look at his face, bruh. What's good, YouTube? Today we're gonna be looking at 5 teenagers' reactions to getting life sentences in prison. I'm not gonna lie, if you're getting sentenced as a teenager, you should be playing Fortnite. You should be out here playing sports, but instead you're doing life in prison. You're stupid. If you're watching this from YouTube, make sure you guys join us on Discord and make sure you guys catch us on Twitch. We're live every day. Links in the description. Without further ado, let's get started.
Number 5, Nicholas Lindsay. In these court cases, a lot of the time you are dealing with cold-blooded killers. Killing another human being is not that big of a deal to them, so a lifelong punishment behind bars doesn't bother them one bit either.
I would cry.
In this video, rather than intensely waiting for the verdict, this team seems to be scratching his elbow. He looks as if he's bored at school and daydreaming away while the court decides his fate. Then he finally realizes where he is and pretends to listen. But the worst is yet to come. When the final verdict is delivered, he grins. He's actually smiling as—
Yo, bro, I don't know if your mind is in the right place, but they didn't tell you were gonna be free. They told you you was gonna go to jail. I don't know if you think jail is like GTA. No, you cannot get out. You're getting packed up. Wine do you, Melly? No. The thing is, it's different smiling in a mugshot and actually smiling to getting convicted. He's different.
as if to say to the judge, "You can't get to me." This teen didn't just kill anyone, he killed a cop. A police officer was called to someone's house where this—
Yeah, you killed a cop, buddy. You're definitely not getting out. If you killed anyone else, I would have been like, okay, maybe you could do a smirk because you look young, because you're a teenager. You killed a cop, buddy, you're done.
This kid was in the backyard holding a brick. They suspected he was trying to burgle the home. The police officer arrived and the teen was caught by surprise. It is believed that the officer was shot while reaching for a notepad, which the kid might have mistaken for a gun. Had he waited a second later, he would not have been in this situation.
What he did then is
Nigga, the roles should be reversed. I'm pretty sure the officers should be doing shit if they think you're pulling something out. Nigga, he pulled out a sticky note. How do you mistake a sticky note for a gun? Mind you, a sticky note, I'm gonna show y'all niggas what a sticky note looks like. Alright, let me just net on this note. This is a sticky no. Well, a note looks like this, right? Pretend this is a gun. A note and a gun. How do you confuse the two, bruh? I'm sorry, you deserve to get arrested. There's no way, bruh.
he fired, in his own words, 3 more rounds. He pointed at the officer's belly.
Damn.
And hit Officer Crawford. He was struck 4 times, possibly 5 times.
Detectives say Lindsay ditched that handgun when he ran, possibly into Brooker Creek near Tropicana Field.
The grin shows absolutely no sign of remorse. The victim's family even commented on the grin in their statement after the trial. A family member said,
"Justice was served, and I'm glad it's over."
Your family saying justice was served, nigga? If your family is glad you're locked up, then you're actually a menace. Imagine you getting arrested, right? And you get convicted and you're about to go to jail, and your mom says, "Finally, justice was..." I'd be like, nigga, for real, you gonna do me like that? I'd be heated if my family member said, "Oh, I'm glad justice was served and he's locked behind bars." His mom was relieved. That's probably what it is. She was like, "I can't stand this man in the house."
And it just kind of proves to me that he's an animal as he sat there smiling.
even his mother didn't seem too bothered. She simply said,
"It's what the judge ordered, so that's what it is. It is what it is."
It looks like he inherited his mother's devil-may-care attitude. His mother's indifference is probably because he's been a problem child for most of his life. Before the murder, he was involved in—
Bruh, she not shedding a tear, nothing, bruh. She can't wait to get this man out of the house. That's tough.
a series of crimes, including theft and trespassing. Personally, I think this reaction proves that he's a genuine psychopath. As we'll explore later, psychopaths are pretty cunning and like to hide their emotions and resemble other humans. In this clip, he lays it out front and center. He has no remorse whatsoever and is happy to reveal his own true colors. It's truly chilling. Number 4, TJ Lane. But this next teen is way more terrifying. Here we see a normal kid enter the courtroom. He is respectably dressed and is wearing a blue shirt. As he speaks to his lawyer, we can see him slowly unbutton his shirt. Eventually, we can see what's written on his t-shirt. While the victim's family stood by and awaited his verdict, he wore a t-shirt with the words "killer" scrawled across.
Are you trying to be free? Are you trying to be free? Where are you going with this? What's the point of going through a whole trial, trying to get an attorney, trying to be free, just for your shirt to say that you're the killer? Who let him cook? I don't know who let him cook. If you're the lawyer, respectfully, the lawyer is probably some free public lawyer. Because if you're allowing the guy to wear a killer shirt, are you trying to be free? No, this nigga's a demon.
Across it. This put his lawyer on the back foot. It was his job to make the best case for his client, but what was he supposed to do when he was wearing this t-shirt? Any defense of this teen just looked silly. This kid was a high school shooter, an all too common criminal in American society. One day in the cafeteria, he stood up and started shooting a gun. He shot 6 people in total.
Now I see why he wore the killer shirt. You had no option, buddy. You were about to go to prison whether you liked it or not. Chad, it don't matter what he wore. He could have wore literally the best material ever. You shoot 6 kids, nigga, you're finished.
3 of which he killed. Apparently, he had a personal rivalry with one of the victims.
Prosecutors have said publicly that TJ Lane chose his targets at random, but investigators tell CBS News that he knew his alleged victims well, and that one of the key factors that may have led to the shooting was that Lane's girlfriend had broken up with him the week before.
All that for a girl. I'm telling y'all niggas, nothing comes well out of a high school relationship. Bro, high school just focus on getting good grades because your girl, I'm sorry to tell you, your future girl is not in high school right now. Yo, that sounded weird. Hopefully that is. If that sounded weird, that's not my intention. You get what I'm trying to say.
And started dating one of the boys he allegedly killed.
Damn, and he killed the ex, bro. That man on demon timing. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, bro. If you want to kill the nigga, hey, no, actually, do not kill him. I'm not trying to condone violence, but you ain't have to kill more of the high schoolers. Just eliminate your target. Anything else is overkill. Matter of fact, don't kill at all.
It is also alleged that he had spent a year working out and lifting weights with the hopes of beating him up.
Okay, now I see why he decided to go with the gun because... I'm sorry, buddy. A year working out and this is what you have? This is your build? Bro, I could see the skeletal build. Your rib cage is literally showing. I see why you decided to go with the gun route because it wasn't working out. Solid, you can't laugh, bro. Look at yourself. It's not the same. It's not. I'm just a little meteor. Your build is like KD. Y'all think I'm arguing that I'm like the strongest man on earth. No, I'm not. I'm just saying I'm bigger than him, nigga, and I am. Nigga, you built like Hezbollah.
Out and lifting weights with the hopes of beating him up. Hate was burning inside him, and this was when it finally came raging out. A teacher chased him out of the building, so thanks to them, the death was only 3.
You let that big ass nigga chase you? You know what? I think I'm worried about the wrong things. I hope that man gets arrested for life.
I don't know why this happened. I only wish I could have done more.
All the warning signs were there. 2 months before the shooting, he posted on Facebook, "I am death, and you have always been the sod. Now, feel death. Not just mocking you, not just stalking you, but inside of you. Wriggle and writhe. Feel smaller beneath my might. Seizure is in the pestilence that is my scythe. Die, all of you."
I just know the attorney right now is like, who let this man cook? Who gave this man a phone? Bro, this gotta be the hardest. If the attorney clutches this, I don't care. He's better than Saul Goodman at that point. How the hell do you do this? First and foremost, if I came across this post, I'm not reading it. Are you Socrates with this philosophical ass post? Nigga, if you want to say you want to murder everyone, say that. And nigga, you put this on Facebook? No one uses this shit no more.
Again, we have another classic psychopath. He shows absolutely no remorse, and instead actually enjoys the notoriety of being the center of attention at a packed courthouse. He even shows one of the victim's family members the finger. Believe it or not, he even escaped prison a year after his sentence.
Right now, TJ Lane and another prisoner, 45-year-old Clifford Opperud, escaped from the prison tonight around 7:40. You're looking at their mugshots released by the Department of Corrections and posted on the Lima Police Department's Facebook page.
That's crazy.
I can tell you, the SWAT team is on the ground searching right now. They're warning people in the area not to open their doors to strangers and not to pick up hitchhikers.
However, their freedom didn't last long.
Around 1:30 this morning, about 6 hours after guards noticed the prisoners were missing, troopers found Lane just 100 yards away outside of a church. Officials say Lane did not put up a fight and did not say anything as he was taken into custody.
I suppose when you're given a life sentence, you've got nothing to lose. Number 3, Dylan Schumacher. While the first 2...
The nigga name is Shoemaker. His name is Shoemaker. Did you expect great things coming out of this man? Did you expect him to be an upstanding young gentleman? Did you think he was gonna be a productive citizen? His parents should be arrested. Nerd ass name.
While the first 2 demonstrated almost zero remorse, this example might elicit a bit more sympathy. A classic response to a life sentence is to beg for forgiveness. They start to plead with the judge and promise to change.
Oh, don't tell me you cried.
As soon as the case was called, Shoemaker walked into the courtroom and started crying, telling everyone how sorry he was.
In this case, there seemed to be some genuine signs of remorse.
I can't take back what was done. I wish I could. I would give my life for Austin. I loved him.
His lawyers then continue to speak on his behalf.
Listen, that's a given. But there were other dynamics at work there, including my client's inability to either control his anger or frustration.
He killed a baby?
I thought this footage was convincing until I looked further into the case. When you hear about just exactly what he did, it might change your mind.
Very dramatic day in court as a young man learned his fate. He beat his girlfriend's little boy to death because he wouldn't stop crying.
Oh, and those tears you saw earlier?
That's tough, man. R.I.P. that little nigga.
Well, it turns out they were purely crocodile tears. The judge wasn't buying it one bit.
The record will show that you admitted that on July 23rd, 2013, in a phone call to your mother from the holding center, you stated, and I got a quote from the court reporter, "I am a 16-year-old blonde. Probably all I have to do is cry in front of the jury, and they're going to feel sorry for me." And
when watching these videos, be careful.
He's cooked! Bro gave out the game plan to the opposition. You never want to do that. Have you ever watched football? They don't leak their tactics. This nigga told them what they were gonna do. You warned them a mile away, now they won't believe you. So did he think that they were not checking your calls?
If you start feeling sorry for them, psychopaths are expert manipulators and will do whatever it takes for their own personal gain.
Damn, he's 16 too.
The blonde comment has particularly irked me, as he assumes that because he is a white kid, he will get a more lenient sentence or get off the hook.
This guy who had no regard for that poor child that he killed, and then going in there and talking behind the scenes about how he was gonna fake cry, and he was gonna get people to feel sorry for him because he was white, he was gonna get off. I have to confess that it's a pleasure to see that that ploy did not work.
Number
That's
2,
right there.
Yondra Cook. At number 2 is
let her cook.
a female convict facing a lifelong sentence. Her crime was still pretty despicable.
Cook is accused of engaging men online, luring them to remote areas in South Daytona where they were robbed or carjacked by others allegedly involved in the scheme. In one instance, a man was shot and wounded.
Nonetheless, she does show some remorse.
Wait, hold on, what happened?
In Daytona, where Cook is accused of engaging men online, luring them to remote areas in South Daytona where they were robbed or carjacked by others allegedly involved in the scheme.
So I'm assuming she was telling niggas, hey, you trying to hit in this private location? So she dragged them niggas in. She probably did the I Spite emote. You know what I'm saying? Boom! Caught them niggas lacking. Robbery. Cardi B.
In one instance, a man was shot and wounded.
Nonetheless, she does show some remorse.
Yeah.
I just want to say that I'm sorry for the big wrong that her son had me shot because I didn't even know he was going to get shot.
Damn.
My boyfriend and his friends get
She snitching? I can't blame her. I can't blame her. I can't blame her.
I was at the wrong place at the wrong time.
While she remains relatively calm, Keondra's mother breaks down in the courtroom. The wails heard from her mother were so loud that the judge had to restate the verdict. She looks over in horror at her devastated mom and wants to hold her one last time. At the same time, we might be falling into the same trap as before. The fact that she used manipulation to rob people makes me think that the courtroom grief may also be deceptive. It was her job to trick and persuade men while her boyfriend did the dirty work. Can you trust someone who would sweet-talk someone?
The thing is, y'all can't even hate me for laughing at them because they did crime. So I'll laugh at you if you look ugly. She is chopped as shit, my nigga. If you gonna go out, you feel what I'm saying? At least go out with, like, you feel me, looking decent. Now this is what people are gonna think of you.
And risk getting them killed. Whatever you think, this sentence was eventually reduced.
A new plea deal, citing miscommunication between Cook and the assistant public defender. As a result of that new deal, Cook's sentence is reduced to 11 years in prison.
I think he got good in, and I think he got potential on the side of that.
To my mind, this sentence seems fairer. Number 1, Jacob Morgan. Lastly, I think this last case is something I am in two minds about. This teen's response is a look of pure and utter devastation. This teen killed his younger brother by setting him on fire.
Nigga said it's lit. What? Do you think the court case is gonna look good for you? Of course you're gonna look sad, buddy. You killed your little brother in fire. You ain't even kill him with a gunshot. You killed him using fire. Yeah, he's cooked. Look at his face, bruh.
It's a truly despicable act, and it's difficult to find what was going through his head at the time. His victim is a member of his own family. His parents have lost 2 kids. One is dead, the other one is in jail for murder. It's a horror story I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy.
Whole family and some shit, I ain't gonna lie. Hey, that's tough, bruh.
Here we can see the verdict reached before this teen's own eyes. He's simply crushed by the news.
He's cooked like his brother. I'm not even going to entertain that, nigga. That's crazy.
And doesn't know what to do. You can see him praying and praying up until the verdict. When he is charged, he is clearly broken with despair. Of course, he is responsible for the death of a baby. It's a truly horrific crime to commit and deserves a long-standing punishment. On the other hand, it may not have been intentional. He started a fire and this resulted in the baby's death. Unlike the other killers on this video, he did not brandish weapons and shoot or hit his victim. He did not directly commit an act of violence, which may be worth considering when we take a closer look. A factor which should be kept in mind as this teen suffers from autism.
They have said that
he has autism?
He would be targeted somewhere around 14, about 3 years behind emotionally. But cognitively, he does understand and he can function as well as any other person.
This does not let him off the hook, but his mother of an autistic child has something incredibly interesting to say.
Those are the people who you've taught your child, especially your kid on the spectrum, that they're your protectors. The police officers, the teachers, they're going to protect you. So how easily he could be intimidated and swayed to say anything.
But yeah, YouTube, that does conclude that video. Moral of the story, do not do crime or else you're gonna make an ugly face, especially if you're a teenager. That last dude was lucky he had the tisms. But if you're watching this from YouTube, make sure you guys subscribe. Join us on Twitch. We're live every day. Links in the description. Wax Up for life. Love y'all and peace.